my class who wants to do some math. Mr. H, garage math, solve equations. Garage math, find solutions. Garage math, all from his garage. Fraction, garage math, division, multiplication, math, all from his garage.
Hello, world. Okay, I don't know if what you just saw worked or not, but as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm kicking this station up a notch. Station? Channel? There was some AI generated picture with a song that was also AI generated that should be my intro. I have to make the video first, and then my editing department is going to try to put it before the video. I don't know if it is going to work or not, so if it didn't work and you're sitting here going, what's he talking about? Stay tuned, because maybe next time. And I'm going to post that song somewhere on my channel so you guys can download it and make sure you include it in all of your playlists, because it's pretty fantastic. It was a gift to me by somebody close. All right, hope everybody's doing great out there. Oh, my name's Mr. Hendrickson, and this is Garage Math. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about some math. It's a Saturday. Let's see, Roman Reigns just won the Royal Rumble. I don't really watch a whole lot of wrestling. I know it's in Saudi Arabia, 30 people get in the ring, they chuck each other out, last man standing. I think Royal Rumbles are kind of weird because really, if you're not doing the duking out, you're on the ground, like acting like you're recovering from some sort of injury, and it just looks like a bunch of dudes flopping around. I think there's just too much going on. A good tag team is plenty if you want to get more than just 1 versus 1. I don't know who any of these guys are. Plus, when I was a kid, Big John Studd, Andre the Giant, Junkyard Dog, Rowdy Piper, obviously Hulk Hogan. I will have to say though, Ultimate Warrior, he was awesome. Macho Man Randy Savage, but probably my favorite guy was always Hacksaw Jim Duggan, because Hacksaw Jim Duggan would, big kind of fat guy, he didn't have a costume, and he'd have this sort of like thing, and he'd like march into the ring, and he was always carrying a 2x4. And shocker, the 2x4 would get used every single time on somebody's head. So Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he was great. Maybe the rest of them now are as awesome as that, but I doubt it, because everything new is not as cool as everything old. I know old men never be quiet. All right, let me see if I can put this in my cubby. Oh, that was worse than ever. Okay, hello. We're gonna talk about simple interest, okay? There's a song to this lesson, and it goes like this. I equals PRT. I equals PRT. Repeat after me. I equals PRT. 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 Good, you're never going to forget it. Let's see. Area equals pi r squared. That's 1. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And I equals PRT. All right, this is an information page. So to get to the problems, I'm going to have to rip this page off. And then I'm going to take this page and I'm going to put it on the TV. So that way I can refer back to it, but you have to be able to refer back to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through these things, and then what you're going to do is kind of remember what they are. Ooh, that's my dog right there. And we're going to refer back to it. But you only need to know one thing. Ready? Go. Ooh, I think my dog even said it. Equals PRT. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. If there's any bankers that are within earshot, any finance people that are within earshot of me talking, so if you happen to be listening to this in the kitchen and your mom or dad are of intelligent monetary people, I'd rather you not have them in the room, because I'm going to keep this pretty darn 6th grade level. Even though I went to Chico State, world-renowned Chico State, I got a business administration degree with an emphasis in finance, yet I've been teaching pretty much 6th, 7th, and 8th grade for 27 years. But I'm not going to give like the Wharton School of Business, Harvard Graduate School of Business talk here. It's going to be pretty darn basic. And I might even say something that's kind of stupid. So if you have somebody in your house who is pretty smart when it comes to money, I'd rather you just get them away. Ooh, my watch just pulled up. I'd rather you just get them away from everywhere so they don't have to listen to me and go, that guy's kind of a moron. Because that's obvious anyways. Okay, I equals PRT. I equals PRT. Now, I is going to stand for interest. It's going to stand for simple interest. So what we're going to talk about today is basically one scenario. You have money, principal. You're going to put it into the bank, and the bank is going to hold your money. And then what they're going to agree to do is pay you for holding their money. Okay? And then you're going to determine how long you're going to leave your money in the bank. So here's the big macro approach. The longer you leave your money in the bank, the more money you make. The higher the interest rate, because then there's going to be an interest rate. The higher the interest rate is going to be the more they're going to give you. And the more money you put in the bank means the more money they will pay you for holding your money. So my wife's kind of stalling because I want to put her on the spot, because here's the ultimate question. What do you mean they're going to pay me to hold my money? So if you go to Bank of America, if you go to, we're going to go to the Bank of Charlotte, and then we're going to go to the Bank of Teddy, and we're going to find out which one is going to give us more money for giving them our money. I want you to think for half a second. I'm not going to answer the question because she's stalling getting out of the car, but I'm going to get back to the answer to the question. Think. Why? Ooh, now you can ask your smart mom or dad sitting at the counter. Why would a bank pay you to take your money and have them hold it for you? They're doing a service because they're digging the hole, they're picking up the mattress, they're shoving the money in, and they're gonna hold it for you, okay? And you're like, that's very nice of them. I'll pay them to hold my money so it's nice and secure. Actually, they're gonna pay you. All right, but we're gonna get back to why in a second. Okay, so let's go over some of the terms. Interest is the amount of money they're going to pay you, okay? So that's called the interest, all right? P is for principal, because your principal is your pal. Also, your bank is your pal for them holding your money. I just came up with that. That means the money you put in the bank, okay? So if you have $500 and you put that into the bank, that's called the principal. And we're gonna use math jargon for the most part today, okay? R is the rate. It's an interest rate, it's a percent. So the higher the percent, the higher amount of money, the higher the amount of interest that you're going to get. So banks will compete with one another. You'll do some shopping, you'll call up the different banks. The ones that offer you a higher percent are going to be the ones you want to have there, to have them hold your money. And the last thing is the T. The T is how long they hold your money, okay? So we're going to run through some problems. There's only one formula. And the T represents, it has to be in years. Question for you, hot on the spot. Why would a bank pay you to hold your money? Not only are they going to hold your money for you, they're going to pay you an interest. Why are they paying you to hold their money? What's in it for them?
Money.
Money. Yes. Can you be a little bit more specific? What do you think? There could be multiple answers to this.
Interest off our money.
They're getting interest off. Well, they're paying us interest for holding our money. So I give you $500 to hold for me.
For a loan? Because we don't pay it back right away.
Correct. And I'm not doing loans. I'm talking about you are putting money in the bank. So we go to the bank because we have $500 lying around, and they're going to hold it for us. And then when we're going to get it out in 2 years, we accrue interest, and they're going to give us more than $500. But why do they offer to hold our money? Why do you think? Now, I just have a reason I think. I might not be right.
Because they use the money for other people and they get interest off that.
I told you she's smart.
But also, you should know that we only
told
get
you.
like 50 cents interest all year. Not very much.
Oh, gosh.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Okay, good to see you. She just went to Nordstrom Rack. I'm sure she got some new shoes. Okay, she got to the answer eventually. if you didn't hear what it was, is basically what a bank's going to do is they're going to turn around and then take the money that you give them and they're going to immediately open up the back door and then they're going to loan it out to somebody at a higher rate and make money off your money. That's not the lesson. Okay, T is in time. This is really important. It has to be years. Okay, so I equals PRT. Okay, I already said this. Principal is the money that you put in the bank. Now, and I didn't clarify this because there's other ways of like you borrowing money from the bank. That's not what we're talking about with this lesson. Okay, although it's kind of the same thing. Interest is the amount the bank is going to pay you for holding your money. Okay, now what you're going to do is, first you should have copied all this down. I'm going to have it up so you can see it, but you need to get out some math notes and a piece of paper and a pencil and a calculator. The work is fairly straightforward because all you have to remember is I equals PRT. Oh man, okay, let's back this up. All right, let's see, no football this weekend. Super Bowl's on Sunday. Patriots, Seattle, what else? All right, okay. I equals PRT. You need to write that down for every single problem because we're just gonna plug it in. All right, you have $600. You find $600. I want you to notice something here real quick. You find $600 and you don't wanna spend it. You're gonna put it in the bank and you have to agree to leave it there for 2 years. And the Bank of Charlotte, because you called ahead of time, she says, I'm gonna give you 5% for you using my bank. And you're gonna go, that's cool. So then you get on the phone and you call the Bank of Teddy and Teddy says, I'm gonna give you 6.5% to hold your money. And you're gonna go, ooh, that's even cooler. And we're gonna do a little bit of math and we're gonna find out why you would rather have the Bank of Teddy hold your money. All right, plug it in. I equals PRT. I is the interest, so we need to compute. We need to compute what the interest is. That's the amount of money they're gonna pay for us. Now, when we figure that out and we get our money back in 2 years, we're not just getting back the interest, we're gonna get back our $600. Okay, P is the principal, okay, 600. Now, R is the rate, write it like a decimal. And T is the years, okay? That's it. I equals PRT. Then you don't have to show step by step. You just grab your calculator, okay? So I'm gonna go 600 times 0.05 times 2, and I'm gonna get 60. Woo-hoo! Money, money, money. Now, what that means is, after 2 years, my $600 has made me $60 more. So I get $660 when I take my money out of the bank, okay? Well, that was the Bank of Charlotte, but remember the Bank of Teddy gave us a slightly higher interest rate, and I just made it a little trickier just so we can go ahead and see how this is done. Okay, I equals, the P is the same. Now, how to write 6.5%. Before I write it, I want you to write it, and go. 0.065, and then you multiply it by 2, okay? We already know it's going to be higher because we're multiplying higher numbers, okay? I mean, it's not going to be ridiculously higher, but it's going to be higher. 0.065 times 2. Ooh, sorry, Charlotte. I'm going to the Bank of Teddy because Teddy is going to give me $78 after my 2 years are up. Okay, I equals PRT. That's it. That's the world of financial literacy. What more do you need to know? Okay, all right. Okay, these ones might look exactly the same, but there's a curveball. And before I start to solve these, I want you to find the curveball and go. Oh, wait. Do you remember what time always has to be in? It always has to be in years. But that's months. You can't multiply it by 8. It's by months. So you have to change that into years. And I want you to think about it before I get to it. It's the same though. I equals PRT. $500, 7% PRT, but you don't write 8. 8 months is how much of a year? Always put the months over 12 because it's less than 1 because 1 is 1 year. So, oh, no, I'm sorry, that's 18. It's more than 1 because it's 18 months and months are 12 months out of a year. So it's 18 over 12. So if you think about it, that's 1.5 years. 18 months is 1.5 years. Obviously that makes sense because 12 months is 1 year, then you get rid of that, and then you have 6 left. 6 months is half a year, 1.5. Okay, now listen. Oh my gosh, look at all this work we have to do. All you gotta do is I equals PRT and use your calculator. $500 times 0.07 times 1.5, I got 52.5. 52.5. Hello, you have to write it in money world, $52.50. Okay, hey, I meant to say this at the very beginning. This is simple interest. There's also another interest called compound interest. It's where your money just keeps accruing and the interest keeps like totally clear, right? This is simple interest. It's like a one-time transaction. So I'm not even gonna get into the definition of compound interest. You gotta go to Chico State to learn how to do that. All right, now, ooh, money, money, money. Grandma gave you some money for college. She says, hey, you're gonna go to college in 3 months. We're gonna put this in the bank and see how much money that $10,000 can turn into. All right, $10,000, that's pretty awesome. Okay, I equals PRT. Make sure this is neat because you're only copying or writing down 3 numbers. 0.045. Ooh, my blue is starting to run out. 3 months, 3 months. 3 over 12 is 1/4. That's 1/4 of a year, okay? Make it easier for our calculator. It's 0.25. Again, you just put the months over 12 and basically reduce, okay? Because if you accidentally put 3, then the bank is gonna give you way more money than they should. All right, calculators, 10,000 smackaroonies times 0.045 times 0.25. I got 112.5. 112.5. Money, money, money. Okay. What movie is that from? Oh, that's the one in Italy with the wedding. Money, money, money. No, it's not. It's some sort of musical. I don't know. I'm gonna go see Beetlejuice in a couple of weeks. I think that's gonna be at the Sacramento Broadway. That should be fun. The ghostest with the mostest. All right, you ready? You ready? You ready? Word problems. Okay, these ones involve a little bit of logic and a little bit of using your brain. I don't use a blue pen anymore. It's kind of dying on me. All right, we'll go red. Okay, I want you to think about this one. Oh, so I equals PRT. Check this out. In the world of algebra, there's basically 4 parts to this. If they give you any 3 parts, you can solve for the other one. They could give you the I, the P, the T, and you have to solve for the R. Just use algebra, I'll show you. They can give you the I, the R, the T, and you solve for P. They can give you the I, the P, the R, and you solve for T. They've already given us this, and we solve for that. Ooh, I think I landed the plane on that. This one is slightly different, but just start with I equals PRT. Okay? Now, this one is even a double tricky one. How long will it take $500 to triple? So, first off, when you're talking about having it triple, you're trying to figure out, like, to take your $500 and have it triple, I got confused on this when I was working this out earlier. So are you turning it into $1,500 or are you turning it into $1,000? If you want $500 to turn to $1,500, let's say it that way. You want $500 to turn into $1,500. Well, in order for $500 to turn into $1,500, how much more do you need to make for that? That's what we're going to call the interest. Well, if we want $500 to turn into $1,500, we need to make a cool $1,000. That would be the interest, okay? Because remember, when we get this money at the end, we get our $500 back, okay? They give us the, how how much did we put in? We put in 500. Okay. What else did they give us? They gave us the rate. Ooh, what they didn't give us is the t. How long will it take? So remember, they have to give you three things. Okay, so now it's algebra, and then you got to multiply and do a one-step equation. Okay, all right, so let's go. 500 times 0.06. That's 30. Okay, so we have 1,000 equals 30t. One-step equation. Remember, this is where algebra starts to come into our real world, which is kind of cool. 1,000 divided by 30. I got 33 point, a bunch of threes. 33.333333. So I'm just going to say 33 and a third. 33 and a third. Okay. Now remember, t is in years. So 33 and 1/3. I wish I had a little bit more room. 33 and 1/3 of a year. What's 1/3 of a year? How many months? You could just write 33 and 1/3 years. But what if you wanted to write it in months? Okay, 1/3 of a year on the count of three. That's yelled out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4 months. Okay, so 33 years and 4 months. Okay, that's not bad. That's like this. In my lifetime, woo, that was a long time ago. That would take a long time, okay? I'm wondering if that should have been 1,500, but I don't think so, okay? But if that one got butchered, sue me. Although I think it's okay. All right, last one, I promise you. I think this has gone on forever, plus with my intro. But, you know, whatever. Okay, Thomas. He gets one of those scratchers, and he gets $1,500. $1,500, and he puts it in the bank, and he's going to put it in there for 5 years. And after the 5 years, this is how much it earns. So that's called interest, okay? So here's what I like to do sometimes on these, because you got to figure out which of these they give you. They have to give you 3. He puts that in the bank, so that's the principal. That's the T, because that's the years. This is how much it earns. That's the I. And we're solving for the rate. So now we just plug it in. Okay, I is this. 5, this is how you have to kind of keep it organized. I equals, P is that, 1,500. R, ooh, we don't know. So I'm gonna put R. T is 5, okay? Again, just like that one, okay? We're gonna have to multiply and then we're gonna have to divide. So I want you to solve it. So I need you to hit pause and then I'm gonna keep this party started. Okay, do I have another one? I don't think so. Okay, on the count of 3, ready? Hit pause, go. Okay, oh gosh. 562.5 equals, I'm pretty sure that's 1,500 times 5. I'm pretty sure that's 7,500. 1,500 times 5 is 7,500. 7,500 times R. That's a one-step equation. What undoes multiplication? Division. Okay. Oh gosh. 7,500. Grab our calculators. Drum roll, please. Oh, these numbers are ugly and gross. So what? All right. 562.5. 562.5 divided by 7,500. Sweet. Okay. In case you're too lazy and you're just watching the show and you're not working, I want you to tell me what percent that is. Whoop, whoop, whoop twice. Correct. 7.5%. Okay. 7.5%. Okay. I kind of ran out of room here. But simple interest. Ready? I equals PRT. I equals PRT. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Couple of 3D weekends are coming up back to back. Those are always my favorite because it's a double bonus. You get the Monday off, but then you just have 4 days when you have to go to school. So it's like Tuesday and you're like, whoa, week's almost over. anyways, hope everybody out there is doing great. I will check in with you guys next time. We're gonna start working on some geometry soon. Peace.